Hi all, this is Grant Pavia from the Shotgun Shop and High Gun Ammunition. Just a quick note on our new ammunition. It's still being made to our formula and it is now being made for us out of Italy by Cheddite. So if you want to know any more information on that, just give us a call or send us an email and we can send you the information that you might need. But today we're going to talk about the guns that made for us out of Turkey. These are called Khan guns. We've actually had them in Australia now for roughly 18 months and we've put them through extensive testing. A few of our distributors have been using them and we've been putting up a lot of mileage on them so that we can be happy with the final product before it obviously goes up for sale. These actually have been for sale for a little while now, but people have been asking specific questions from interstate, and it's very hard to explain a gun unless you can see it. So we thought we'd put this video together so that you can get a better overview of what the guns are like. So to start with, we've got 6 guns here today out of the range. The top of the range, which is the DLX double trap, or also used for Olympic trap. There's the DT high rib trap. There is the standard trap or the ST trap, the SS Sporter, and then we've got some sub gauge guns, which is, this is a 20 gauge and then there's the 28 gauge gun. Now we'll just talk about the 12 gauge to start with. All the 12 gauge guns, and we'll just grab this particular gun, which is the Sporting SS. All the 12 gauge guns all have adjustable comb. They all have ported barrels, top and bottom. They all have extended chokes. The difference comes into where the Sporter has a selective mechanical trigger, and it also has 3-inch chambers so that you can take this out hunting and put those big loads through it. All the guns do come with a palm swell, and we've got these in left or right handed. It's not a problem in all that range. And then we shall move up to the trap. The trap's exactly the same as, this is your standard trap, which is a great gun if you are looking at getting into shooting clay targets and you don't want to spend a lot of money but you want a good quality gun that's not going to give you any problem. Well, this would be a good entry-level gun. It still has the adjustable comb, so we can still set that up to suit you the way you want to shoot. It's a set of flat barrels and the rib is slightly pitched, so it's a perfect trap gun. Still got ported barrels, extended chokes, mechanical triggers, selective. With this particular gun and this gun, you can put the sub gauge tubes in, so you can fire 20 gauge, 20 and 410. 410 is always a problem in guns, especially inertia guns. Very hard to get them to fire on the top barrel because they need the inertia to set the trigger. But with the mechanical guns, which is this one and this, not a problem. Okay. Then we can move up the range, and these are for the people who probably been shooting around for a bit, or people who have trouble bending their necks, and there's a lot of people who have stiff necks, stiff shoulders, and they've got to keep their heads up right. High rib gun, suits you down on the ground, still with the adjustable comb, still got all the features of all this, but the rib is fully adjustable. Still mechanical triggers, still selective, still got either left or right hand palm swell, extended chokes, but you set this rib up to suit you, whatever you're wanting to shoot with it. This gun as well, you can also put the sub gauge tubes through it because it's still got the mechanical triggers. Then we move up to the top of the range. Now this particular gun is a really nice gun. You can, if you're really up there with shooting and you know what you're doing, you can set this gun up to do exactly what you want it to do. So it's got the fully adjustable rib, still got ported barrels, extended chokes, but there are a couple of other features on this gun. And the first one I'll show you is the dropout trigger system, which is just press that button, move your safety switch forward, and they just tilt out from underneath the pistol grip. And as you can see, they're quite a good quality finish, nicely made. Everything is easy to get to. I'll just drop that gun down there and we'll just fire off the hammers, so that takes the tension off, and you can see you can change the springs or whatever you need to do, clean it every time that you fire the gun on a weekend. You can pull these out, give them a clean out, make sure everything's right for the next time you go and shoot comp. So really simple guns. These are inertia too, mind you. So it's a lot of people in trap or Olympic trap do like inertia triggers. These ones are inertia. And just simple job to put them back in, slide the front into the receiver, drop it. I'll just push that down. There we go, click, and we're in. Now the other thing with this gun, the whole gun is fully adjustable in the stock by using one Allen key. So you can adjust the comb here and here. You can adjust the length of pull by just loosening off these, and then you can set your length of pull. The other thing on these particular guns, actually I'll just loosen that off a bit more, is that not only can you not adjust adjust the length of pull, you can also adjust the cast of the pad, left, right, up, down, and you can also make the whole pad move left or right by these adjustments here. One of the cool features on this particular adjuster is that it's also got toe adjustment, which means you can actually pitch your top of your pad forward or back like that by these adjustment screws there. A lot of times when we have to do adjustments on people for getting that toe or pitch, we have to put wedges in there to pitch the pad, or we've got to trim the stock at an angle to get the pad, but that's already there. You can set the absolute minuscule, minute adjustment on that you need to get where you want it to be on your shoulder. So we'll just pop that back into that, and we'll just lock up those two Allen keys. Okay, and the rib is adjustable as well. So same with this particular gun, the high rib DT, the rib is adjustable both at the back and also at the front. Same thing, you undo the 3 locking screws on each side of the rib, you drop your Allen key in to the lock, which is like a sawtooth, you pull down on that, it's spring loaded, and that will allow you to move the front of the rib either in or out, and the same at the bottom. So you can set that pitch if you want to shoot half a basketball width under a target, or basketball width, or you just want to hit the tiniest touch just underneath the target. This is in trap. You can set this gun up to do that. So that gives you a pretty much of a rundown of the guns. They are all solid Turkish walnut. As you can see, they're all oil finished. With the sub gauge guns, now as a lot of you probably already know, I've got a soft spot for 28 gauge over and under shotguns. I just like to use them to see, well, it improves your shooting. If you're going to get good at shooting sporting clays or anything, the patterns on these are so small, they make you accurate. The thing with these sub gauge guns, we've had them all made, as we do with all our sub gauge guns, with 30-inch barrels. Very easy transition to move from a sub gauge 30-inch barrel to a 12 gauge 30-inch barrels. A lot of sub gauges only have 28s or 26-inch barrels, and it's a completely different sight picture once you go to a 12 gauge. But with these, 30-inch. Mechanical selective triggers, adjustable comb, straight stock, so these will suit a left or right hander. The frames are far too small to put palm swells in. Very light gun, nice to handle, well balanced, great for kids, ladies, or anybody who's really having trouble holding the weight or the recoil in a 12 gauge. These are a great gun. So this is the 28, and the other thing on the 28 gauge, this is actually a scaled frame. So that means it is a true 28 frame. That frame is not a 20 gauge frame, which this one is here, with a set of 28-inch barrels sweated into a 20 gauge monoblock, which you do see around. And then we have the 20 gauge. For those of you who do like a 20 gauge, slightly heavier gun, slightly bigger all over, still a beautiful gun to shoot. Exactly the same features that are on the 28 gauge. So anyway, I shall pop that one down there. While I've got you too, we'll just run through. A lot of people have asked since we've had these guns in, what are they like inside? And you know, you can take photos and whatever else. But I thought I would pull a receiver apart so that you could see what the quality finish of these guns are. So this is a 12 gauge sporting clay receiver. It's actually a club gun. It's done a lot of work, and I thought, well, we'll pull it apart so you can see the finish on it. All the receivers are all drop forged steel, CNC machined, and all the engraving is done by laser. So the tolerances on these are brilliant. They really do a nice job. As you can see, they're very easy to get to, service, replace parts, or whatever that you need after many, many years of shooting. One of the other couple of good features on all these particular guns, these hinge pins. Hinge pins are a problem with 12 gauge over and under. This is where a lot of the wear happens, and you've got to replace them. A lot of guns, you've got to take them to a gunsmith and they've got to put in new pins and set it all out. With these, it's just an Allen key, you undo it, you swap them over, because with hinge pins you only wear one half of the pin at one time. So by swapping them over, you're actually starting to wear the new side. So you get twice the life out of these pins, and once the pins finally wear out, which will be many years down the track, we have the hinge pins. They're 20 bucks a set, and you can put them in yourself, so you save yourself some money. Another thing to look at, and this is just in a comparison so you get an idea of the quality of the guns. I thought I'd show you the comparison. This is a top lever from a Browning Maruku, brand new. And this is the top lever from the 12 gauge Kahn. As you can see, they're quite well made, really good quality. I do get Browning Marukas, I've done a few of them over the years. They have a problem where they actually crack through here, and it's just wear and tear over many, many, many years that eventually the pressures that are happening when you're opening and closing this crack these. As you can see, this is all solid. You're not going to have any real problems with these particular things. The other thing with these, they're half the price of what these are if you ever would have to replace it. Same with firing pins. Now, I'll put them in my hands just so that you know. Now that is a Browning Maruku firing pin. There's the Kahn firing pin. Now they're both bottom firing pins. So there's your Kahn. You can see the quality, you can see the size of it. You're going to get a lot of service out of that. There's your Browning Maruku bottom firing pin, just to give you a comparison. One of the other things I thought you might just like to look at, a lot of people don't really get to see it, it's the 4-end iron. This is a 12 gauge 4-end iron out of a Kahn. So this sits up inside the 4-end timber, and you don't get to see a lot of these because the timber's hiding it, but you can see the quality, really well made, well finished off. Yeah, you can't complain about the quality. Okay, so that is pretty much it. Now you know what the quality is like inside these Kahn guns. All right, and that's a wrap.